Hello, Andreas. It's a pleasure to speak with you.
Nice to meet you, Lishai.
Here, take a seat. The first question comes from an anonymous Jeffrey Elementary student. Would you put more swings, huge slides, and monkey bars at the parks? Would you make gyms for kids and adults? Kids want to work out too. And would you also put more firefighters in the station?
All right, so I love this question. Yes, I would love to invest in more playground equipment. I want to make sure that existing playground equipment is well maintained. I would love, ideally, to see every park in Kenosha sort of a mini dream playground. I want more equipment that's inclusive, where everybody, depending on, no matter their ability, has something to do at these parks. When it comes to gym, I would love to see a ninja gym here in Kenosha. I think if you've ever seen American Ninja Warrior, there's people of every walk of life, every ability, they compete on there. I think that would be great for kids and adults all over Kenosha to do that. When it comes to the firefighters, I was interviewed by the firefighters a couple months ago, and I do believe that we are short a few firefighters. A lot of them are also EMTs, which also contribute to lack of enough firefighters in the department. I'd also like to bring in a couple more ambulances and make sure we have emergency services that are within close distance to neighborhoods. We have a lack of emergency systems on the east side. I'd love to restore the emergency system that was there. But yeah, I definitely want to increase more firefighters.
This is an anonymous KUSD high school student. What are your thoughts on the Uptown area? And do you have any plans to do anything to that area?
Yes, I do. For years, Uptown has been neglected by the city. We have lack of transportation services. There's lack of places to get groceries. There's a lack of affordable housing and a lack of decent jobs. One thing I really want to invest in is more community-based business models. I want to, specifically worker cooperatives. So with this type of business model, it's the same as regular businesses, but each worker owns an equal amount of that business. So if you have 10 workers, it's one vote, one worker. The workers themselves decide on electing supervisors, on deciding where their company is going, their mission statement. They decide their wages. They decide what to sell and how much to charge for those things. I think worker cooperatives would benefit greatly in Uptown as well as all over Kenosha.
Do you support the Menominee and Seminole Indian tribes' plan to develop a gambling casino in Kenosha? Do you think a casino would be a good idea for our community?
Right now, with how the plans are going, I'm a little skeptical. I don't think there's been a lot of transparency or reaching out to the community for discussion about this. We don't know how many public resources we might need to be using for this casino, whether it's police, the fire department, emergency services. We don't know the effects on our roads. This could dramatically increase tourism. And with wear and tear on our roads, with emergency services, we're already lacking a lot of that. And I think that at the very least, we need an economic impact analysis, comprehensive economic impact analysis, to show us real numbers about how much this would cost, how much people would be going to this casino, how many would be coming into our community. A lot of that has to be done, and I also support including an environmental impact analysis as well.
What would you do to prepare and incentivize Kenosha residents to create small businesses? How do you plan to prepare the workforce in terms of training so that they would want to stay? What types of jobs creation would you promote and invest in?
So I want to create a public bank of Kenosha. Here, our community can invest in local businesses. We can give out loans that are low to no interest on businesses that benefit the public good. We can invest in local organizations. Your money will not be going into the private pocket of some CEO that lives somewhere. You know, we're investing in the community. The other part of that is I've been very vocal in supporting a funding referendum for our public schools. We need them to be fully funded. I believe we need to, yes, pass the referendum, we need to petition the state for more money, and we need to look at unconventional or non-traditional ways for dealing with our lack of funds, such as neighborhood schools, places like that. The types of jobs I'd like to invest in are, well, again, worker cooperative business models. I want to invest in jobs that are, or in companies and jobs that are created by our community. I believe in the long run they are much more sustainable and tend to be more equitable because the people that run this business are the people that live in your community. I think that education is directly tied to this. I've been very vocal on passing a funding referendum to fully fund our schools. We need to petition the state to give us more money. And we need to look at more unconventional approaches such as neighborhood schools as other solutions. I think that to keep the youth here, we need to build a stronger community. When your community is invested in or committed to social justice initiatives, when we focus a lot on equity, you know, people stay for a community that they want to be a part of. And I also want to create a public urban agricultural program because we have lots of lots that are just empty here in Kenosha. We can grow so much food. We can use that to supply local businesses or local restaurants with food, with grocery stores. We can donate that food when we have access.
How would you utilize smart city technology and innovation to improve city services, enhance local news media communication, as well as make the city more efficient? Overall, what would a healthy Kenosha look like?
A healthy Kenosha is one that recognizes our unfortunate global depletion of natural resources and the effects of current climate change and the effects that climate change will bring in the future. A strong Kenosha works to mitigate the effects of those future problems and invests in equitable community solutions for the members of Kenosha. And when it comes to smart technology, I think that has to be paired with people's solutions. So the smart technology that I am interested in is electrifying our public vehicles, especially buses. We need more charging stations for electric vehicles. I believe we need a municipal-controlled broadband system so that all members of Kenosha have access to high-speed, quality Wi-Fi that's treated as a public utility. I believe this will keep costs down and keep it running smoothly. And the last thing is we need a much more advanced water management system. We need to get the lead, forever chemicals, and other impurities outside of our water.
How would you rebuild security forces and communities so that they can trust each other and work together?
We do have a problem with crime in Kenosha. I believe most of that crime is due to reasons of poverty. I think that accompanied with my other solutions, I think when we tackle poverty, we help eliminate most crime here in Kenosha. When it comes to the Kenosha Police Department, I believe there is a culture of violence between some of the officers there. And I think that has really destroyed a lot of trust between the Kenosha Police Department and the community. There's no serious accountability for serious misconduct, and a lot of our community members are punching bags to some of these officers. I think to establish trust, we need a major overhaul of the Kenosha Police Department. We need a strong, independent investigation into the histories of all of the Kenosha police officers. Anyone who has been guilty of serious misconduct needs to be removed, and then we need to look for high-quality police officers who are already trained in de-escalation. They understand mental illness, neurodivergence, and who are willing to find a peaceful outcome to conflicts when possible. We need to revise how police officers are able to use force and what they consider threatening behavior. Right now, the burden of trust is on the Kenosha Police Department. They have to earn our trust and prove it.
Do you have any plans for affordable housing in the future?
So housing is not the same as it used to be 10, 20, 30, 50 years ago. It's changed drastically. Right now, a lot of people cannot afford private rent, and I do not plan to invest in any private renting initiatives. I want to focus more on community-controlled tiny home communities. One of the reasons why rent is unaffordable is that when you're paying rent, you're paying property taxes, you're paying for maintenance of the apartment, but you're also paying personal profit for the landlord. And that can be a lot of money. When we have community-controlled housing communities, there is no profit margin. We don't pay that. We pay for the property taxes, the maintenance, and that's it. We can make housing much more affordable if private landlords want to believe that they can compete with the price or quality of housing. I'd be open to that. But right now, I feel like community-controlled housing that is democratically controlled is the way to go.
How do you guarantee that the little progress made in racial relations, inclusion, and reduction of social gaps does not slide back in dangerous reversals as the DEI controversy is amplified?
So unfortunately, we cannot guarantee something like that at the state level. What we can do is petition and call our representatives and tell them to drop it. At the county level, we had the Racial and Ethnic Equity Commission that was established to combat racism, among other things. Unfortunately, our county executive appointed a lot of unqualified members to this commission, and there's been months where people have criticized them for not doing as much as they can. Unfortunately, our county executive abruptly removed all of the members except for the 2 county board members that are on there. Unfortunately, there's a quorum issue, so basically the commission is inactive. Our county executive also urged the county board to vote to completely dissolve the commission. I completely disagree with that. I think we should have removed the unprofessional members and recruited qualified individuals that know what they're talking about and that are not influenced by Moms for Liberty. But when you're taking the county, state, and federal level with all these equity initiatives that they're trying to do, at any time they can cancel all of these things. Our civil rights or human rights can be taken down. That's why I really want to invest in a local human rights department. So locally, we can work to guarantee our internationally recognized human rights laws so that no matter what happens at the county, state, or federal level, we can stay protected.
There is, unfortunately, a common expression voiced by the youth: there's nothing to do here, which isn't true. How would you change that rhetoric within our overall community? What makes Kenosha special?
I empathize with that as well. We have a lot of bars, but outside of that, there's not much to do for the youth and the adults. Two things that I really want to do is, again, invest in a ninja gym. I think that would be really successful. I want to invest more in 4-H so that there's more programs for our youth to do. But I also would like to send out surveys to every family in Kenosha and hear from the kids. I want to hear what they want to see in this community. When it comes to what makes Kenosha special, we have several great universities. Our public libraries, our museums, they are just fantastic. Over the last few months, we've seen a huge movement of community members standing up and supporting education, fighting hate groups here. We have a lot of passion to really get stuff done here. And I think the combination of our public resources and our great members of our community, we have a lot of potential to make great things happen here in Kenosha.
In short, please state your top 3 priorities. What impact do you think you can make within the community in Kenosha? What strikes you as the big issue that you want to take up when you become mayor?
My 3 top priorities are equality, human rights, and basic needs for all. I believe you can't have one of those without having all of the others. With the Human Rights Department, its main goal is to work to guarantee all members of Kenosha their basic needs, and that's clean water, healthy food, affordable housing, adequate, fully funded education, and healthcare. If I had to put a top priority for that, it would be the Human Rights Department, because I think that's where it's all going to start.
This is the final question, and it's from another anonymous KOSD high school student. What makes you suitable for the mayor position in the city? What makes you good as a leader?
So I graduated from UW Parkside in 2016. I studied sociology and anthropology. When it comes to sociology, it's all about usually bigger countries, industrial nation states, and the problems and solutions that we have with them. Whereas anthropology, it traditionally has focused a lot on smaller cultures, smaller societies, and there are a lot of different ways that societies practice economics, politics, how they, their types of either agriculture or smaller scale farming. I think that there is a lot of those alternative systems that could really be used right now. I think we're dealing with a lot of, unprecedented events right now in the world with, again, global natural resource depletion, and we need to start looking outside the box and sort of discarding obsolete practices that are no longer relevant. I think leadership in itself is actually a little overrated. I believe cooperativeness is key, and I think at this moment in time, I believe that I'm the right candidate to bring Kenosha forward.
This concludes our mayoral forum at UW Parkside. We, the community of the University of Wisconsin-Parkside, acknowledge with gratitude and humility the First Nations people of Wisconsin, whose original homelands lie within the state. We especially wish to recognize the Ho-Chunk, Miami, and Potawatomi nations for their significant historical and spiritual connections with the Parkside area. Our footsteps do not replace theirs, but rest alongside them. Today, Wisconsin is home to 12 First Nations communities: the Ho-Chunk Nation, the Oneida Nation of Wisconsin, the Menominee Nation, the Forest County Potawatomi Community, the Stockbridge Munsee Band of the Mohicans, the Brotherton Indian Nation, and 6 Lake Superior bands of the Ojibwe Nation: the Bad River, La Courte Oreille, Lac du Flambeau, Mole Lake Skogan, Red Cliff, and St. Croix bands. The University of Wisconsin-Parkside acknowledges and honors this history and these nations. Special gratitude goes to the mayoral candidates who actively engaged in this forum, namely Andreas Meyer, David Bugdala, Elizabeth Garcia, Corey Elijah Washington, and Lydia Spotswood. Our thankfulness extends to Professor Alvaro Garcia, Music and Associate Dean of the College of Arts and Humanities, Sound Manager, Instructor Kevin Gray, and Parkside student Liam Simpson for operating the sound and camera work for this forum. Much appreciation to Dr. Simone Aretona Akindes, the Professor of Political Science and Director of International Studies at UW-Parkside, who played a crucial role in refining the questions posed by members of the Kenosha community. Special recognition goes to the Executive Board of Parkside Student Government, who initiated and brought this concept to life, as well as selecting the elementary and high school questions. Acknowledgement to Kenosha filmmaker Evan Parshall, owner and editor of the 88s on YouTube, who provided the exterior drone footage shots of the Rita Talent Pickens Center for Arts and Humanities, as well as Parkside's natural environment. Musical intro number Evanston Civic Band March was provided by the UWP Wind Ensemble and Community Band, led by Dr. Laura Rexroth. The musical outro number, Theme for Ariana, Second Movement, was composed by Parkside student Joey Bellotti and led by Professor Alvaro Garcia. Also, thank you to the staff at the University of Wisconsin-Parkside who allowed this important forum to take place. Last, but certainly not least, thanks to all the others involved and the Kenosha citizens who submitted these insightful questions. Your invaluable contributions were indispensable to the success of this endeavor. Thank you.